Hi everybody, Doug Overvole here, and today we're going to talk about second base. This is where you're going to actually conduct a survey of the facility. One of the things we're going to talk about is looking for the pain, finding the hot buttons. What are the problems and issues that we can fix? You're also going to collect a 12 or 24-month power history for the facility. You're going to complete a job tool. You're going to leave behind a marketing folder if you didn't already do so at first base. And this is also a good time to confirm your third base appointment. Now, I want to kind of start out and talk about the 90-day learning curve. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to learn. You're not going to get it in the first day or the first survey or the first week. So just relax. You're going to learn as you go. We will be there side by side until you're 100% comfortable with the survey, the job tool, first base, the proposal, getting deals done. And in my suggestion is just take this one job at a time. Don't worry about conquering the world. We'll take it one job at a time until you're comfortable. Now, I want to talk a little bit about not conducting free surveys. It's really easy, especially in the beginning, to get all excited. You do a first base, and the next step is a free survey. Do you want us to do a free survey? And the owner or decision maker will typically say, sure, go ahead and do a survey. And what you're going to find is you're going to waste a whole lot of time, and either you didn't have a buyer to begin with, or secondly, and this is even more important, is you didn't set yourself up for success. You didn't put yourself in a position to be able to close that sale. We like to use something called upfront agreements. And this is where you're asking for a verbal commitment from your prospect, from this owner, from the president, that they're truly in a position, if we can create a win-win, that you've got an opportunity to get a yes. Now, these upfront agreements are done at the end of first base. We actually use a checklist that talks about the next steps in the survey and how our process works. Part of that checklist are these upfront agreements. There are questions about who besides themselves will be involved with this decision. What is their purchasing process? Are they planning to be in business for the next 5 years? These are all the one more. If we do put together a win-win with a great ROI and positive cash flow, will we have an opportunity to earn your business? These are the questions at first base that will prompt you to spend the time to go through, because at second base, you're going to survey, you're going to do a job tool, you're going to put some pretty good time invested in. So it's really not a free survey. It doesn't cost the customer any money, but it does ask for a commitment. Next, I want to make sure that you're taking good notes and pictures. Slow down. This isn't a race. It's pretty easy to start scribbling and scratching, and then a few days later when you're doing the job tool is you're going to be lost. So make sure you do your survey sheets, you take notes, and you can't take enough pictures of the lights, of the panels, of the thermostats. Take as many pictures as you need to. Next, I want to make sure you've got all your tools ready. You'll need a pen, a clipboard, your phone. You'll need a flashlight, your survey sheets. Make sure you're prepared. Okay, now we're ready to get in. What are we looking for? We're going to audit this facility. First of all is the indoor and outdoor lighting. Now, what you're going to find is lighting is a 10,000 piece puzzle. It seems pretty simple that there's a light bulb, but when you look at all the color temps and styles and bases and beam angles and fixtures, there's 10,000 pieces. For that reason, we built and created a common pricing guide. Now, this covers 95% of the types of lamps and fixtures that you're going to come into the typical facility. So you want to review that, have that with you. If you can learn the common pricing guide, you're going to learn 95% of the lighting. The next thing is you want to count all of the thermostats. We've got an HVAC survey form. Typically, there's one thermostat for every air conditioning unit. We call that a RTU, or a rooftop unit. And Right now, all you need is the count. You really don't need to know how it's programmed and the set points. We'll do all that after we get the deal linked. So right now, you're basically looking to count all the thermostats. Next, you're going to need to survey the electrical panels for the VPUs. Those are voltage protection units. The PMs, the panel monitors, and the load CTs. Now, we've created a separate webinar training that focuses exactly on what this looks like. We've got pictures of the panels, and we'll really explain how these pieces work, because it's the PM and the load CTs that actually measure the amount of energy being used, and that feeds back to the Cool Pro, to the thermostat, and that's where we build the baseline and can show them the amount of energy and the waste and all of that. So you want to watch and review that webinar training on the panels and the VPUs, and you'll get all that figured out. Okay, now I want you to make sure you're building rapport and trust during the survey. You are either with the owner, decision maker, or somebody they assigned you to. Either way, the more you can build rapport and trust during the survey, it's building that link to get you to third base and to get a deal signed. Of course, if you're with the facility manager or the operations director, they're not the decision maker, but you can bet that the owner is going to ask them after you leave, hey, how'd that go? What do you think of those guys? What do you think of their system? The more you can build rapport with them, it's going to help get you to a yes at third base. We also want you to look for the pain. These are the problems, the issues. And if you can find the pain and show them how to fix it, that's half the reason they're going to buy our system. So when you're going through the building, you're going to see that they got ballasts that are burnt out. You're going to see boxes of burnt out light bulbs, breakers that burnt out, motors that went out. What we call gremlins, things that are not working, that are tripping out and causing problems and downtime. You want to record those, take notes, take pictures, and we're going to bring that pain back to the table at third base. We're going to pour a little bit of salt in that wound. We're going to stick the knife in a little bit so they can remember how painful the problems they have, and then we're going to show them how to fix it. Ah, it's beautiful. You're also going to need to collect the power history. We would prefer to get 24 months of their power bills, but we can get by with 12 of them. What you need to figure out in your market is the easiest way to collect the power history. You might be able to pull it online from the power company. In Minnesota, they can do it on a phone call to the electrical company and get 24 months. They might need to make photocopies, but we'll help you figure out in your market the best way to do that. Next is we're going to leave a marketing folder if you didn't already do so at first base. This is what we call the collateral. Now you're going to come back at third base and ask for a $30,000 commitment. Or it might be a $50,000 commitment. Maybe it's six figures. The more information you can use from first to second through third to build that collateral, to build that trust, the better off you are. So in this marketing folder, we've got some of our newsletters, we've got some case studies, we've got some of our marketing information. It's a good piece of collateral to leave behind. And lastly, before you leave the building, confirm your third base appointment. You don't want to be chasing them a week from now, trying to find them on their phone or text or email to set up your third base. Get the third base locked down now. If you're done with the survey, poke your head back into the owner's office, let them know, hey, the survey went great. We see a lot of opportunity. Hey, we really appreciate working with Joe. Joe did a great job, really a great employee. And by the way, when can we be back? In about a week, we'll have our numbers ready and get third base appointment. Get it locked down right there and then. Okay, next is you're going to take all this information from your survey and your electrical history, and we're going to complete a job tool. Now, the job tool's pretty intense. There's a lot of pieces to it, and so we recorded a separate webinar training where we actually do a job tool with you. We'll take you through all the input and what all the pages are. The key is that there's only 5 pages of input. The first 5 pages is where you enter the information, and then everything's populated for you. The proposal, the summary, the savings, the ROI, the purchase agreement, all of that populates. You're going to spend about 30 minutes on putting together the input, and then you're going to prepare a professional proposal. What I want you to do is print off the pages and have it spiral bound. Make sure it's got a cover, a backing, and it looks professional. Again, if you're asking for a $30,000 or $50,000 commitment, you want to put your best foot forward. You want to bring in a professional proposal. Remember, second base is the link between first and third. If you do a quality first base appointment with quality upfront agreements, and you prepare yourself and conduct a great survey, get everything ready, do your job tool, now you're ready to come back at third base and prepare to put yourself in a high percentage of closing. Shortcuts don't work. You can't skip bases. Take your time, do a quality job, and get a quality closing ratio. And you really need to stay organized. I can't stress this enough. With your notes, your surveys, your files, as you get going and maybe have 5 or 10 or 20 jobs in your pipeline, if you're not organized and you've got papers all over the place, I guarantee you're not going to be productive. So if you're an organized person to start out with, that's outstanding. If you're not, we will work with you. You need to make a goal of this to be organized. And lastly, KSS. Keep it simple or starve. You can get so complicated. You can get so much going on, and you can really end up having analysis paralysis. Keep it simple. Follow our plan. We know the road to success. It's the baseball diamond. It's all laid out for you, and you'll make it happen.